Hello Heart of the Swarm players, welcome to yet another PvZ match, again on map Daybreak. This time I'm not gonna play any kind of rush and any kind of timing, and I'm gonna focus on heavy macro game against late game Zerg. Since we are in Heart of the Swarm, we no longer have to afraid of the deadly combination of Broodlords and Infestors, and we can really play an even game against Zerg in late game. This means I'm gonna focus on the popular combination Colossus plus Void Race, which is kind of universal and useful against any unit Zerg can make. And you can only alter a little bit your combination, for example add a few Archons, more Zealots, Immortals or more anti-AU units to counter basically everything Zerg can make. So my aim is to go to the macro game on 200 supply, take the half of my map and then see what happens. So my scouting probe is in my opponent's main. I see that he's now rushing me or doing anything weird. You could see that I delayed his mining, and I also delayed his spawning pool for 6 seconds, and the 6 seconds is enough to be perfectly safe with Nexus before Forge. So I'm already putting myself ahead and gaining a little bit of advantage. Also, I blocked his natural with my pylon, and I was ready to go to his turret to block his turret also. The Zerg was greedy, and I think his first mistake was to not send 2 drones at the same time and to try to place his expansion as soon as possible. Right now you can see that I'm gonna block basically both of the places for expansion, and he is putting himself a little bit behind. He had 450 minerals for quite some time, so his build is not exactly perfect, and meanwhile I'm totally safe even with my Nexus before Forge. I'm gonna place my probe to the Zelnaga tower to spot possible Zerglings running to my main, because sometimes it's possible that Zerg ignores your pylon and just send 6 Zerglings to your main and try to run by before your cannon is up. But this is not the case, and everything is perfectly safe. So I can take 2 guesses, one on my natural and one in my main, to prevent Overlord scouting them. And I verified that my opponent is going for free base, which means no rush from his side. My Cybercore is at 445. Let's see, it's 444, which is I think very nice timing for Cybercore that allows me an early tech. Right now I'm gonna fill my main base with 16 probes and change the rally point from my main Nexus to natural, and I'm gonna prepare for additional tech, and I'm gonna place my pylon right here and place my tech in this area of my cliff. I think this is basically one of the best areas to place your tech to delay enemy scouting or to prevent to be scouted at all, because Zergs usually send their overlords near your Nexi or your mineral lines or something. So as you can see, it is a Stargate, and right now maybe you expect I'm going to play 4 Phoenixes and some gateway units to harass, but I think it is basically the best approach to make 4 Phoenixes and a 3rd base and meanwhile a Robo. And I'm gonna recommend you to do that, but this game I'm gonna try something else, because I wondered if an Oracle is useful in this matchup, and I'm gonna make a 1 Oracle, I think, for a little bit of harassment and no Phoenixes. and we will see how this will turn out. As you can see, the Overlord is going near to my Nexai, and since I'm skipping Zealot and making an early Stalker before Sentries, just to kill an Overlords, I stayed unscouted, and I think this is a very good move to make an early Stalker just to prevent the Zerg from scouting you, because you can stay when you are unscouted. The Zerg just has a hard time. The Zerg has to make spores and to scout for proxy pylons. He has to expect any gateway timing or something like that. So an Oracle is up. I'm not gonna make any additional units because I expect my opponent to make spores, and he did just that, and he even pulled his drones, so the reaction is very good from him. It's pretty much perfect because he's not allowing me to do any significant damage, but right now it's his first mistake, and 5 kills. 5 kills without taking any damage except the shield is, well, it's not exactly worth it, but I can make additional damage later, so yeah, I would say it's okay. Meanwhile, I'm putting up my third base, and as you can see on the production tab, my enemy is going for Hydras. So right now I need to scout that. That's the first thing, and then I need to rush to Colossi. In the current metagame, this is the usual approach, going Stargate into Colossi because Zergs are going Hydras. I think he kinda overestimated the power of Zerglings, because the thing he did was definitely not worth it. I think it's a smart idea to try to cancel my third base, because when TOS is going Stargate, usually he can afford to go early third base because he doesn't have enough units on the ground. So it's very good to try to cancel the third with a bunch of links, but he has to have the proper amount of links to be enough to cancel the third base, because this kind of number only delayed his additional tech or economy and didn't do any damage. Meanwhile, I lost my Oracle, but I managed to make 8 kills, and I forced Hydras, and I made the Zerg think that I'm going more Stargate units than just one. So I think it was a success. It was a very small success, but nevertheless it was a success. And you can see it on the supply count. I'm 10 supply, well, some supply ahead, and I have my third base up, and I'm going for Colossi, so everything is basically perfect from my side. Also, his economy is kind of bad, so I don't think he's doing well. And when I was playing this game, I didn't feel that ahead, but we can see from this replay that I'm already ahead, because the Zerg should have a full economy, like 75 or maybe 80 drones and useful units. Basically, his supply is low. Only now he has the ideal amount of drones. He's going for some upgrades and Roach Hydra, preparing for a Spire. This can be a switch to Mutalisks, but not very likely. Usually it's just for Corruptors after Hydras. Meanwhile, I'm taking some standard upgrades as Colossus Range, Blink, but you can see that I'm doing +1 air damage, and this is because I'm preparing for a macro game and Colossus plus Void Ray combination. Meanwhile, I'm being pretty safe. You can see I walled off my natural, and this is my favorite move, and almost none of the players are doing that, and I think this is the best way to wall in, and this is the best way to defend the third base on this map. Because if you wall your third, you're not putting your gateways on the cliff, so Zerg can easily snipe them. But on the natural, your gateways are on the glyph. They are on the high ground. That means the Zerg has a little bit harder way to reach them. So I have 2 observers, I think, but now I lost one. So at least 1 observer. Right now I'm going to take my 4th base, and also it's good to not stay so passive. So maybe it would be good idea for me to go just to threat with the attack, you know, to put myself near his base and just make him a little bit scared. Would be useful, but I don't think I'm gonna do that, because I'm not so sure with the situation right now. So you can see on the field that I can be attacked from many sides. I need to put few cannons up, but his timing is really good, and his position is also, I would say, really good, but the unit combination from my side is a little bit better. I lost all of my colossi, but I think I'm gonna be able to defend. But I have to say the attack was really good from him. It was basically the best time to attack and the best position he could possibly have. He focused on my colossi, and yeah, he's doing really well in this attack. But my army was just a little bit stronger, and I used some good force fields. He lost a lot of DPS in this battle, so I'm able to defend my 4th base after all. But I'm gonna need replace the 2 cannons that he cancelled, and also to make some robo units. Usually in this situation it's not so good to make colossi without any gateway army, because the pure mass roach would easily target them down and kill them. So I'm also make double immortals, but he's making some hydras, which is really hard for me to defend, and basically you can see I defended only because of photon overcharge on my nexus. Without it I think I would be dead. Meanwhile, a few zealots are prepared to attack on his 5th base on the upper left side, as you can see on the minimap, but I failed to to send them on the hatchery, so they are just waiting there. This is a kind of mistake from me, because I don't think he would be ready to defend it with all of his army attacking me. Right now the position is not so bad for me, because the stalkers can attack the corruptors, and the colossi colossus were saved, the cannons were attacking, and you can see that this attack was failed. This was failed from his side. So right now it looks like I stabilized the game, and you can see he's remaxing roaches. And imagine if I have only stalkers and colossi, no immortals, no sentries. Even the 1 void ray is not a problem. So that's why you should, when you're remaking your army, you shouldn't count only on colossi power. You have to make few immortals or remake sentries, but sentries are really gas heavy and can die very quickly, and one sentry that is warp in has mana only for 1 force field, so I don't really prefer that. I prefer to make cannons because they cost minerals, and make immortals. Meanwhile, you could see that my zealots didn't attack his 5th base and died instantly, and this was a shame, because the zealots could easily cancel his 5th base. Meanwhile, he's probably gonna cancel my 5th base, but this is not a huge deal, because I'm okay with my 4 bases. I don't need this 5th base. This was only a preparation for the late game, and basically I lost 200 minerals, but I didn't need the time to mine, and I killed a lot of roaches, so maybe I could be happy with that move, because it was worth it. His links run by was quite a good idea, but with the early photon overcharge and 5 cannons I was able to save the nexus. But I could see his point, because not everybody makes 5 cannons on his base, so I could easily lose my fort base, and I would put myself in a bad situation. Meanwhile, we can see he's going for Broodlords, which is a standard Wings of the Liberty combination. So as soon as I'm gonna identify that, I could make some Tempest. The Speed Prism is ready for harassment, the Bunch of Zealots on the 5th base also. And this is a very good move, because I threatened him with a direct attack, but that wasn't my plan. I only wanted his attention, and I only wanted him to gather his army in the middle of the map. And meanwhile, I attacked on basically 3 sides at once. So I think this was a really good move from me. And I sniped a hatchery in the middle. I did some damage on the 5th. Unfortunately, I did no damage on the main base. Right now, this is the best time to recall, and I want to recall. I remember when I was playing that, I just missed. I wanted to click the recall on minimap, and I missed the Nexus, and I couldn't click it correctly, and it costed me 2 Colossi, and this was a huge mistake. Basically, I think if I recalled correctly and saved all of my units, I would be in unlosable position, because this next attack would basically kill him. But right now I need to remake my Colossi, and the situation is again not so pleasant. But you can see that I have a nice bank. I have 5 bases and double Colossi on the way, Templar Archives on the way, and remaking my War Prisms, and so on. Right now I'm preparing myself for another attack and the recall, but unfortunately his creep spread was good enough to spot me, so this attack will do probably no damage. I have to recall fast without losing any unit. Well, but it was worth a try. Meanwhile, he's making 10 spines, and obviously he has a Broodlord, which is a kind of surprise for me. So right now I'm gonna have a hard time, because I have Colossi, only 1 Void Ray, no Tempest, and he has more Corruptors than I have Void Rays, so he can target my Void Rays and then use the Broodlords like the Wings of Liberty way. The only good thing for me is that I have a good defensive position and blink under the Broodlords, and at least I'm gonna snipe 2 Broodlords, but the Roach Hydra army doing incredible amount of damage, and the cannons are helping really well. Unfortunately, I don't have Photon Overcharge, and this is big mistake. I used all of my mana, and now my expensive army is dying, and this is really tense, because I need to warp in additional units. I have the minerals, I have the gas, but I don't have enough warp gates, and just to save my base. And as you can see, my Nexus is maybe going down, but this is not a huge deal. I can easily remake the Nexus. This is it's not such a huge loss, but I need to get rid of the Broodlords and kill his army before the reinforcement Zerglings or something arrives. So I warp Blinkstalkers, because it's basically the only way how to reinforce my army. I lost the Nexus, that's okay. I'm gonna make additional Colossi and another Stargate units. Hopefully I'm gonna make Fleet Beacon. Well, I already have the Fleet Beacon, sorry. Hopefully I am gonna make a Tempest, which I'm doing right now. But my enemy is being a little bit smart, and he's switching to Ultralisks. Maybe if he attacked with another wave of, let's say, 7 Broodlords instead of the 3 Ultras and 4 Broodlords, he would be in better position, and I think it would be smarter to make as much Broodlords as he can and just attack again before I put my Nexus up. But he tried to attack switch, go for Ultras, and as you can see, I'm gonna make few Archons, and Archons are really good units for tanking the damage. Also, I need a few Zealots and few Immortals against the Ultras, but I'm not aware of it yet. So 5 cannons on the 5th base. The 5th base seems quite safe. War Prism ready on additional harassment. And right now he's trying to harass with Broodlords. This is kind of funny, but yeah, it is a good way to do damage. But as you can see, 1 Tempest, 2 Tempests can easily kill Broodlords. So this was definitely worth it. I killed 2 Broodlords and lost only some pylon or something. So yeah, good situation for me. I have Colossi and Tempest and Storm. So right now I'm perfectly proof against Broodlords. And yeah, this time making any more Broodlords would be quite stupid, I would say. So he's completely tech switching to Ultras and few Corruptors, obviously. I'm adding a Dark Shine to maximize my harassment potential, transferring my probes. And I'm doing some harassment in his main. Meanwhile, I'm gonna clear this creep that spotted me last time, and maybe I'm gonna try to kill his 5th. This would be quite a good idea, but obviously he's aware of the possibility that I'm gonna attack his base, so he's not sending all of his units to his main, just few to defend the Zealots. And I think what I'm seeing now is my mistake, is that I'm not aware of the unit combination that he's making, because right now I'm not sure that he's going Ultras, and I don't know how many Ultralisks there are. So maybe I should have sacrificed an observer and sent the ops in his army just to see his unit combination. Right now, few Zealots on the well, let's say 6th, but he successfully, let's say, run by my army, and he's going to kill my 5th base or 4th base. It depends on how you call it. And I'm not gonna be able to save my probes, but meanwhile I'm gonna kill his 4th base, and this is a crucial position in the middle of the map. So I killed his few of the spines, and I'm gonna also kill his additional base, but this is not a really good position for me. Yes, I can storm, but yeah, I had a superior army, so let's say the battle is still okay for me. But if the armies were equal, the position was really bad for me, because the Colossus were in the first line, and you know, it just wasn't a really good position. But still, he's able to kill all of my army, and this shouldn't have happened, because if the position was better, I would win the fight. With the Storms, with 5 Colossi against few Ultras and Hydralisks and Corruptors, I should have been able to win, but right now I'm using my bank. He doesn't have any bank, and it's still looking good for me because of the warping. But obviously I have no way to know how big his bank is. So a little bit of poking with Blinkstalkers, just watching his unit combination, and my bank is basically gone. I made 2 Immortals, 2 Colossi, 1 Tempest. Additional expansion, also I remade the Nexus on the south position of the map, and the bank is gone. So it's going a little bit more intense than I expected, because the game was basically almost won for me. But right now I'm seeing that he's going for Broodlords again, and the only thing I need is just to focus them. Few Broodlords down with a blink, additional Broodlords focused by Tempest, and with the help of the cannons I should be able to defend this position and kill his army. he just doesn't have the support units for the Broodlords, and no infestors were made anytime, anywhere in this game. And obviously Broodlords are good only with the combination of infestors. So the game is over. I defended my 5th base and my enemy gave up. As you can see, the late game is very much playable with Colossi plus some air units, but you have to scout your opponent, you have to be aware of his tech switches, and you have to adjust. You have to be ready for making some Tempest, ready for Immortals and for a few Archons. It's also good to harass with the War Prison, with Zealots and DTs. It's even better to harass with 2 War Prisons at the same time and threatening with direct attack with your main army, because the Zerg just can't split his army so well to defend on every place at the same time. So it guarantees you the damage. And also just be careful on which position you attack or being attacked, because it's very important. When you're playing Colossi, you have to take care of your position. If you don't play Colossi, for example, if you play Stalkers, Immortals, High Templars, yeah, the position is not so crucial. But when you play Colossi, you have to watch the screen all the time and prepare yourself for the battle. So, thanks for watching.